I'm Murray Aiken, Executive Director of the IQVIA Institute for Human Data Science. In 2025, the life sciences sector will be defined by advances in science, the clinical development pipeline, marketplace dynamics, macroeconomics, and policy. As we think about success for the sector, we at the IQVIA Institute have identified several factors that can be used as indicators of progress in 2025. These are not intended to be predictions of what will happen, but rather a series of explicit markers and things you can measure that will reflect progress if they're achieved by the end of the year. A lack of public trust in the pharmaceutical industry is a fundamental problem that leads to diminished political support and credibility, patient hesitancy, and less use of medicines. Progress will be recognized if the positive public view of the pharma industry improves from 20% to 25% this year. Drug prices are perceived by the public to be too high in the US, largely because of the out-of-pocket costs borne by patients with or without insurance, and this is a flashpoint for policymakers. Progress in 2025 will be achieved if average brand prescription out-of-pocket costs fall below $25, and the share of brand prescriptions carrying patient costs of more than $125 falls to less than 3% of the total. Fewer interactions between patients and healthcare professionals result in fewer opportunities for medicines to be considered as treatment options and for patients to receive the value of these drugs. For the life sciences sector, progress in expanding access can be marked by proxy measures, such as the stabilization of the number of active pharmacies in 2025, a 2% increase in the number of primary care active prescribers to match the growth in the 65 and over population, and growth in new brand prescriptions of 4%, up from 1.5% growth in 2024. As the next U.S. administration brings new approaches and priorities to the healthcare sector, the potential exists for policy and regulatory actions that bring uncertainty, delays, and disruption for the industry. A positive indicator in 2025 will be an inclusive approach, one that includes the life sciences sector to defining and pursuing a Make America Healthy Again agenda that involves public-private funding focused on prevention and understanding of disease etiology. The life sciences sector remains heavily dependent on developing and commercializing treatments for late-stage disease and symptom management. Progress in placing more focus and funding for disease prevention and early intervention will be an important indicator for the industry, along with increased spending on primary care to 6% of total health spending in 2025. Emerging biopharma companies require stable funding resources and exit strategies, both of which have been challenging over the past 3 years. In 2025, a rise in the XBI Biotech Index of 20% and growth in the value of announced M&A biopharma deals to more than $200 billion will be important positive indicators for this part of the innovation ecosystem. Pharmaceutical R&D, it's highly risky, and Phase 2 project success rates have hovered around 30% in recent years at the total industry level, resulting in higher clinical development costs. Many efforts to improve on this have been made in recent years, and which may be reflected in an increase in average Phase 2 success rates for industry-sponsored interventional trials to more than 35% in 2025. That would mark a positive inflection point for the sector. Limited access and use of cell and gene therapies brings uncertain sustainability to this important area of innovation. Positive indicators of progress in 2025 would be the increased use of CAR T cell therapies, for example, in third-line or later multiple myeloma, to more than 8% of treatment regimens in the US and 5% in the EU4 plus UK, and bringing approved sickle cell gene therapies approved in 2023 to treat at least 2% of eligible patients by the end of the year. In recent years, life sciences product portfolios have not been fully replenished at the rate needed to sustain investment in innovation. An indicator of progress in 2025 would be an improvement in the freshness index that would take the share of branded drug sales from launches in the prior 5 years from 20% to 25%, and the share of sales from launches in the prior decade from 60% to 65%. For global companies, overdependence on a single market can concentrate commercial risk and increase the impact of policy changes that may be imposed to limit growth in payer expenditure on medicines. In this context, a metric of positive progress in 2025 would be the share of global branded drug sales from outside the US increasing to more than 40%, a level not seen since 2013. Achieving these indicated levels of change will reflect meaningful advancement for the sector and positive outcomes for other stakeholders who rely on life sciences for the advancement of health and wellness for all. Download the full research brief to learn more.